Hello, my name is Anakin and welcome to this video. I'm going to introduce my new sock pattern, which is called Aventuras. Now that's Spanish for adventure, and my Spanish is not brilliant, so I may not be pronouncing that very well. But Aventuras is Spanish for adventure, and this is a choose your own adventure sock pattern. So there are two options. Actually, there's 16 different combinations in all, but there are two main options. You can knit cuff down or toe up. You have a choice of two different toes. So that's a swirly toe and a wedge toe. Two different heels, a swirly heel and a wedge heel, and two different stitch patterns. So this is the alternating rib stitch patterns, and this is the garter rib stitch pattern. And so there's a total of 16 different options for this sock. So I just want to talk about some of them in detail so you can see what we're doing here. So your choice is to go from the cuff down or the toe up. So whether you're going cuff down or toe up, doesn't really matter. You knit a tube till you get to where you want to put the heel in. It's got an afterthought heel, so when you're knitting from the top down, you knit to about here, or if you're knitting toe up, you knit to here. It's kind of where your leg meets your foot. And then you're going to knit in a waist yarn. So can you see that yellow line there? That's the waist yarn. You knit half the stitches onto a waist yarn, and then later on you unpick that waist yarn and knit the heel in. Now the reason I like to do this kind of sock is because it doesn't interrupt the self-striping yarn. There's a lot of self-striping yarns around at the moment. They're very, very popular. But if you do a regular heel flap and heel turn heel, it interrupts the pattern because you have more stitches across here, this bit of the foot. So it interrupts the striping pattern. So that's why I like doing an afterthought heel. Plus it's really quick. You haven't got to worry about shaping the heel and all that kind of stuff. You can just knit the whole sock as a tube, and then when you finish, you just undo the waist yarn for the heel and knit the heel. Makes it ideal for knitting on the go because you don't have to think about doing the heel halfway through the sock. It's also easier to adjust the fit when you're knitting toe up, because you can just knit till you get to here and then put the waist yarn in for the heel. So the choice is a swirly toe. Let's look at the swirly toe first. So that's the swirly toe. So whether you're doing the toe from the sock from the toe up or cuff down, there's some swirly toes. That's the cuff down swirly toe. Now this is a kind of fake foot, and it's not the greatest for showing exactly how the toe looks. So that's the toe up swirly toe. That's the toe up swirly toe. So this is on a flat sock blocker. Okay, so you can choose between toe up or cuff down for the swirly toe and the swirly heel. I really like this, is my favorite. I've been doing this a lot lately. And then if you prefer, you can do a wedge toe. I actually really like the wedge toe. So that's the cuff down wedge toe. And this is the cuff down, so toe up wedge toe. So it doesn't show that well because the, let me just wiggle it around. So let's look at it that way. So that's the toe up wedge toe. So you can see the increases at either side of a center number of stitches. I really like this wedge, this sort of modified wedge toe compared to like a regular standard wedge toe. Most of my socks, I do the wedge toe and then I do the swirly heel. So you can you can mix and match them. I like doing the wedge toe and the swirly heel a lot, although recently I've done the swirly toe quite a lot as well, and it fits really nicely on a proper human foot. Doesn't fit quite so well on this plastic foot, but fits well on a human foot. The stitch patterns, so you choose between this alternating rib stitch pattern. So you do 5 rounds of rib and then you alternate it. So you're purling where you were knitting and knitting where you were purling. Or you can do the garter rib stitch pattern, which is every other round is a knit to purl to rib and every other round is just a knit round. So this is a lot quicker because every other round is just a plain knit round. And you can do the garter rib with the swirly toe and swirly heel. You can do the alternating rib with the wedge heel and wedge toe. So there's lots of options. There's 16 different options in total. So you can do 16 different types of socks with this sock pattern. It all comes in one sock pattern, the Aventuras sock pattern, which is available now. There is also an online course, and in the online course I go through how to join to work in the round and how to knit magic loops. So these socks, the pattern is written for magic loop. So in the course I show you how to get started with the magic loop if you're knitting from the cuff down. I show you how to cast on if you're knitting from the toe up. So I show you how to do a disappearing loop cast on to get like a close cast on for the toe, how to do the swirly toe, how to put in the waist yarn for the heel and how to unpick it, how to knit the wedge toe whether you're doing cuff down or toe up. So for the toe up I show you how to do the Turkish cast on for the so you get like completely closed cast on and then shape the wedge toe, and then how to cast off at the top if you're doing toe up. Show you how to cast on at the top doing the stretchy cast off called the sewn cast off, and then I show you how to unpick that waist yarn at the end and knit in either a swirly heel or a wedge heel. Okay, so that's all in the online course, which is available now. I'll put the link below this video. If you have any questions, please just ask. I'm happy to answer your questions. So you can buy the pattern on its own, or you can buy the online course. If you buy the online course, you get the pattern for free. So don't buy the pattern and then buy the online course. Buy the online course and they get the pattern for free. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please just ask.